The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes ends on an ambiguous note that leaves one wondering what exactly happened to Lucy Greybeard and how Coriolanus Snow's hunger for power and prestige pushed him to become the man in the Hunger Games movies. The Hunger Games prequel is set 64 years before Katniss Everdeen entered the arena and follows the 10th Hunger Games and the aftermath of Lucy Greybeard's problematic victory. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes helps answer questions about the large gap in the timeline, but its ending also raises questions. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is connected to the rest of the Hunger Games franchise as President Snow's origin story, but it can also stand alone. It explains the history of the games, how they became the modernized version that Katniss and Peeta competed in, and how President Snow became Panem's most feared and hated dictator. The prequel also introduced Lucy Greybeard as the first winner from District 12, only for her story to be erased by Dr. Gall and her later disappearance. Lucy Greybeard's fate explained. Is she dead? Lucy Grey disappeared at the end of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Lucy Greybeard's fate is as ambiguous in The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes film as it is in Suzanne Collins' book. Coriolanus shoots at her in the woods, but it's unclear where the bullet actually hit Lucy Grey. It might have simply grazed her, which would explain why she was able to flee so quickly and why Coriolanus never found her. It's also possible the Capitol found her somehow, on Dr. Gall's instructions, and killed her quietly, so she would never be a distraction. Conversely, Coriolanus was also bitten by a snake in a trap Lucy Grey laid out for him, so it's possible he was merely hallucinating her in the woods. There are multiple Hunger Games theories about Lucy Grey's fate, most centering around her having survived and escaped to District 13, as she had planned on going north. What lies outside of Panem is unknown territory within the scope of the Hunger Games franchise, and it's better to think Lucy Grey somehow survived than believe her dead. Why Dr. Gall sent Coriolanus to District 12 after the 10th Hunger Games. Coriolanus was sent to District 12 after he was caught cheating in the games. Dr. Gall proved to be calculating throughout the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. She arranged for Coriolanus to be sent to District 12 as a peacekeeper so that he could see human nature as she truly believed it to be, violent. She needed Coriolanus to shed what he believed the Hunger Games to be about, collective punishment of the districts, and embrace the Capitol's role of keeping the districts in check to control their violence. Gall thought it got out of hand before, but for the Capitol to survive, it needed a reminder of all that came before. Dr. Gall knew Coriolanus had to see that firsthand to move forward. Though Coriolanus believed it to be a punishment, Dr. Gall was grooming him to carry on her legacy, the deeper meaning behind Tigress' final words to Coriolanus Snow. Tigress' final words foreshadowed Coriolanus' future. At the beginning of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Tigress tells Coriolanus that he doesn't have to be his father, Crassus Snow. It's clear Tigress believed Coriolanus to be a better man than his dad, who was a cruel general. However, by the end of the Hunger Games prequel, once he'd returned to the Capitol after his time in District 12, Tigress tells her cousin that he looks just like his father. Tigress could probably see the trajectory of Coriolanus' life. He'd strayed far from the boy she knew. In one sentence, Tigress was telling Coriolanus that he was turning into the man he never should have been. It's a dangerous path to walk, but Coriolanus had no issue doing so. In Tigress' eyes, he was on the way to becoming what she feared her uncle to be, ruthless and hateful. Tigress later helped Katniss and the rebels in Mockingjay, proving that she not only saw who Coriolanus was becoming but, despite their close relationship, couldn't support who he became.